Having actual hardware difficulties, but I think we got it this time. Sorry for the delay. It is one of those silly things. So once we get going, you can once again let me know if you have any. We'll see. A little crooked now that I had to mess with it. Okay, it worked. The playlist, I have just added it as a comment on the video on Facebook. I have just added it as a comment. Somewhere. I have to forego whatever's happening with YouTube. I'm not going to mess with any other technical issues. So sorry if you're going to watch on YouTube. I hope you find it on Facebook. Well, there we go. Let's get started in a comfortable seat, please. Everybody good to go? Okay, you can chat me if you need me, if you're in Zoom. The playlist is in the comments. And I've had one request for deep core work, which you know I was going to teach anyway. Didn't last week, but we planned it for today. Comfortable seat, please. Before we get started, as I was planning for my class today and thinking about what I would teach, what I would talk about, I could feel a little bit of a struggle, a conflict. And I was trying to figure it out. I realized that teaching yoga was feeling a little frivolous to me. And I didn't know exactly how to label that at first, but there was a little bit of that feeling moving inside me. And as I was talking to my sister and kind of trying to figure it out, I've of course realized how transformative this practice is for me, and how transformative it is for everybody around me. And let this be 1 hour that you take care of yourself. So if you showed up here, or if you're watching another time where it's not actually live, let this be the 1 hour of the day that you carve out and take care of yourself. Everything else can wait, and it will wait, and it will be there for you to pick up. So you can decide what you want to do with this class. I'm going to talk a little bit more about healing, the way that you can heal yourself. You could take that healing intention and send it to other people. You can think about healing your physical body if that's what you need, your emotional body, your energetic body, or the you that is a little bit deeper than those bodies. So with that in mind, go ahead and close your eyes if they aren't already. Lengthen your spine by sitting up tall, and soften your shoulders. You can rest your hands on your legs or in your lap, but let your elbows rest back underneath your shoulders instead of outstretching your arms. So that you can soften your shoulders and release down through your sitting bones into the floor. You release so your pelvis feels heavy as you settle a little bit more down. Begin to deepen your breath. And imagine that you can infuse your breath with some sort of healing energy, whatever you might need. So whether you aim that at yourself, physical body, emotional body, energetic body. Whether you aim that to somebody else, you could dedicate your practice to a person or a group or a movement. Or can you target that healing energy? What can you infuse your breath with that works for you? Bring your hands to prayer at your chest and bow your mind to your heart. If you'd like to solidify that intention or that dedication or what you would like to gain from this class, what you would like to accomplish in this hour, you can do that now. Lift your chin from your chest, open your eyes, and release your hands away from your heart. Child's pose, please. Make your way onto a tabletop of all fours. Your big toes together so that they touch. Separate your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Set your hips back to your heels. They don't have to touch. It's just a direction, hips toward heels. And rest your forehead down onto the floor. For a moment, instead of outstretching your arms really far, let your elbows rest more down onto the floor. You might have to slide your hands more back or bend your elbows even out to the sides to make that happen. So you feel less tension and heat in the shoulders. You feel more softness at the back of your heart. Notice every point that is connected to the earth and take your time with it. So we're not in a hurry with that cue. Pay attention to the tops of your feet. Your knees, maybe parts of your shins. Your forehead, how does that feel resting down into the floor? Your elbows and your hands. And turn your awareness to the back of your body. Can you soften down from there? Like you can move from the back of your body through to the front of your body. Deepen your breath. Is your breath still infused with that intention, with whatever you need right now? You lift yourself up to a tabletop, all fours. Place your knees underneath your hips. Extend your toes straight back from your knees. Take a huge inhale, look up. Drop your belly, fill your lungs. Exhale, round your back. Press your spine to the sky. Tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, look up, drop your belly, fill your lungs. Exhale, spine to sky, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, round your back. A couple more times. Inhale, look up, drop your belly, fill your lungs. Exhale, round your back, spine to sky. Before we move into our first down dog, if you want to push play on that playlist, you can take your time to do that. I almost always forget. If you haven't already, now's the time for the Slow It Down Motown playlist again. Down dog when you're ready, tuck your toes, stretch your hips up and back behind you. Bend your right knee generously and press your left heel more down to the floor. It doesn't have to touch. Bend your left knee generously, press your right heel more down to the floor. Are you using these first opening poses and the warm-up sensations as a way to heal your body? So we're not going to let this practice be another way to create stress in the body. Set your knees back down onto the floor. Sit upright, sitting back on your heels with your knees either together or hip width distance. If you like this foot stretch, you can keep your toes tucked under. For a lot of us, that might feel too intense, that's okay. You're not alone by far. If you want to untuck your toes and sit here, we won't be here for long, but those are your options. Drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. Move your chin slowly through space as you experiment with how movement changes sensation. So we're still kind of keeping the head tilted to the right as you continue to move your neck around there. Other side, drop your left ear toward your left shoulder. Soften your shoulders. And with your head still tilting to the left, move your chin slowly and mindfully through space. So instead of just doing the cue that I tell you, see if you can feel it from within. And if I ever say anything that doesn't serve you, doesn't feel good, do something else. Half circles with the neck. Tabletop, all fours. Move your body in any way that feels good. Could be ribs side to side or around in a circle. Move your hips around, shoulders, bend elbows, or pick up arms and legs. You can stretch your calves or your wrists and your forearms. Downward dog. Stretch your hips up and back behind you and breathe. You walk your hands back to meet your feet. You'll be in a standing forward fold with your feet at the back of your mat. Once you place your weight more in your heels, you could pick your hands up if they were still touching the floor and grab a hold of opposite elbows or upper arms. Bend your knees a lot or a little. Release your arms so that they drape back down to the floor. Bend your knees generously. Drop your head and roll slowly to standing. Push your heels down. Make your legs strong. If you're like me and sometimes you get lightheaded after being upside down for a while, you can leave your chin dropped to your chest or squeeze and release the muscles of your legs. That can sometimes help until you feel clear-headed. Lift your chin from your chest and bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Lead with your heart. Tone your belly. Drop your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the front of your heart through your shoulders to the top of your mat. Exhale, downward dog. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Put your hands down and walk your hands forward, out and away from you. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Help your foot forward if it didn't make it. Hold here. Pull the front of your heart forward through your shoulders to make your spine long. Move your right hip crease backwards in space. And lift the back of your left knee strongly up to the ceiling. Breathe. Step forward, left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms high, deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the sides of your body. Exhale, step your left foot back. So right foot stays at the top of your mat. Move your left foot back and set your left knee on the ground. Hold here with your hands on the floor. Move your hips down and forward by bending your right knee straight forward. Couple of the same cues as the previous pose. Move your right hip crease backwards in space. You can also think about that from the other side. Press your left frontal hip bone forward. Lengthen the front of your heart more forward through your shoulders to the front of your mat. Downward dog. Plant your hands. Step your right foot back next to your left. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Hold here. We've got the hands on the floor. We're on the ball of the back foot. The back heel is spiked up. Inhale, lengthen your spine by pulling the front of your heart forward. Exhale, bend your left knee just a tiny bit more. And lift the back of your right knee strongly up to the ceiling. Tighten your right quadriceps. Step forward, right foot meets the left. Lift, lengthen through the front of your heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat. Set your right knee down onto the floor. Your right leg should feel long back behind you instead of having the right knee close. Move your hips down and forward by bending the left knee a lot. Lengthen your heart forward through your shoulders and slide your shoulder blades down your back. Tug your left hip crease backwards in space so that your right frontal hip bone moves more forward. Downward dog, plant your hands, step your left foot back next to your right. Close your feet all the way together so that your legs are squeezing on each other. Inhale, plank pose. Roll through your belly, make your legs really straight, and lift your chin away from your chest. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly. You can keep your knees up or put them down for that descent. Untuck your toes. Cobra, inhale, lift your heart. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Downward dog, exhale. Keep your intention or your dedication or your goal in mind here as you use this pose and this sequence to serve yourself or your intention. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms high. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. That's mid-plank. Put your hands down. Move your feet back and lower halfway or all the way. Cobra or up dog. Lift your heart any amount. Downward dog, exhale. Spread your fingers wide, hold in down dog, and push the floor away from you with your hands. When I give that cue, push the floor away from you with your hands, you might feel your shoulders shrug a little up to your ears. I like that engagement, that's great, but we'll use the shoulder engagement that you just created. And we'll invite space across the upper back. Spread your shoulder blades open apart from each other, like you want to wrap the bottom tips of your shoulder blades more underneath your armpits. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet forward, step or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach your arms up high. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, step or jump, lower slowly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. It can be low cobra, medium high, or up dog. Down dog, exhale, hold, and breathe. So we have that engagement in the shoulders as well as space and broadness across the upper back. Feel like you want to show the bottoms of your sitting bones just a little bit more to the ceiling than at the floor. If you ever have pain at your sitting bones when you stretch your hamstrings, private chat me, DM me, I'll talk to you about it. I have different cues for you. You can comment on the video if you want to be reached out to. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet forward, step, walk, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen a lot. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, rise to standing. Make your legs even stronger, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your chest. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up, reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the sides of your body. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, mid-plank, step or jump, lower slowly. Good, inhale, up dog or cobra, lift your heart, push the floor away from you. Good, downward dog, exhale, very good. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Make sure your feet are not on a tightrope. We want your right foot to the right of the midline and your left foot to the left of the midline. Stay on the ball of your back foot and rise. Crescent lunge, inhale. Hold here, keep breathing. Bend your right knee straight forward. And lift the back of your left knee toward the ceiling. Place your hands on your hips. Tone your belly. Begin to straighten your right leg. So if you're like me and your legs lock or hyperextend, keep a micro bend. I want your legs to be strong here. It's okay to be wobbly. It's kind of a wobbly pose. What's it like to be less steady here? Take one more inhale, lift the front of your heart. Keep your legs as they are. Exhale, hands to the floor. You can, of course, bend your right knee if the floor feels far away. So your leg does not have to be straight in this pose. The intention is just to keep it a little bit straighter in the transition so that you feel a stretch in the back of your right thigh. Pull your right hip crease backwards in space. Then move your left hand wide to the left, probably off of your mat. You can bend your right knee as much as you need to for this pose. Reach your right arm up. The intention is the right leg will be just as straight as you can get it. You can bend your right knee a lot though. Turn your right chest open and lean the back of your head and the back of your heart backwards. One more inhale. Exhale, release the plank. Plant your right hand down with your left hand under your left shoulder and step your right foot back next to your left. Keep your right hand where it is. We're not going to move it. Turn to the razor edge of your right foot and reach your left arm to the ceiling side plank. You could level one it, place your right knee on the ground. It's a modification. Next step, you could stack your left heel on the floor in front of your right heel. More challenging is to stack your left foot directly on top of the right. Squeeze your legs together and lift your hips. One more inhale. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Make sure your feet are not on a tight rope. Stay on the ball of your back foot, crescent lunge. So we have all 10 toes pointing straight exactly forward so that the back heel is spiked up. Sit deeply into the bend in your left knee. Move your left hip crease backwards in space. And lift the back of your right knee up. Place your hands on your hips and move your shoulders away from your ears. Tone your low belly. Hug your low belly back into the front of your spine. And start to straighten your left leg. Move slowly, and we keep the leg strong. So instead of hyperextending, if you're in my camp with that, micro bend. Especially if that's difficult for you. Then you're with me. What's it like to be a little bit wobbly? This is a safe place to be wobbly. Take one more inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. Exhale, pyramid, place your hands down. You can bend your left knee as much as you need to make that happen. You might also like your hands up on something. If we're in the studio, I could offer you 2 blocks. Some of you might be practicing with yoga props. Otherwise, you could use books or anything else you have handy. Move your left hip backwards in space and press your right hip more forward. Then move your right hand wide to the right, probably off of your mat. Lean your weight into your right hand and reach your left arm up to the ceiling. Your left leg does not have to be straight for this, especially if you feel too much on the outside of your left hip. Turn your left chest open away from the floor. And lean the weight of your head and your upper back backwards. And one more inhale. Exhale, plank. Place your hands framing the left foot and step back, left foot next to the right. We'll leave the left hand on the floor where it is. We don't have to move it. Roll to the razor edge of your left foot. Perfect transition to put your heel of hand to heel of foot alignment. Reach your right arm to the ceiling. You could modify by placing the left knee down onto the ground. If both feet are at the back of your mat, you could place your right heel in front of your left toes. It's a little bit more accessible than the most challenging right heel. Right foot can stack on top of the left. Take one more inhale, lift your hips, reach your right arm up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet forward, step, walk, or jump to the top of your mat. Sit all the way down onto the floor and lie down onto your back. Hug your knees to your chest. Interlace your hands behind the back of your head. And let your elbows open wide. If that's uncomfortable, you can of course keep them cradling in, but you'll feel a little bit more openness in the front of your chest. So right now, instead of making a 90-degree bend in the knees, instead of stacking your knees over your hips like I usually teach, hug your knees to your chest. You'll keep your head on the floor. If your elbows are touching the floor, you can keep them there too. Elbows stay wide. Leave your head on the floor. Tuck your knees tight to your chest as you pick the back of your hips up off the floor and set them back down. Then tap your toes onto your mat in front of you. It can be really close into your sitting bones. I'll talk about more in a second. Pick your feet up, knees to chest, pick your hips up, and set them back down. Tap your toes on the floor in front of you. Just a couple more times. Pick your hips up off the floor, knees to chest, head stays down, and tap your toes to the floor in front of you. Keep moving at your own pace. If you need more of a challenge, two things while we're here. When you pick your hips up off the floor, try to move as slowly as you can to set them back down, and then tap your toes on the floor in front of you. So it's a slow and controlled lift, and a slow and controlled descent. Last intensification, if you still need more, tap your toes farther away from you, closer to the top of your mat. Bringing a little bit more challenge on that toe tap if you tap farther away. 5, almost done with this. 4, you could extend your legs straight even. 3, 2, you could do it, last one, release. You can release your hands away from the back of your head. If you're like me, you probably traveled forward a little bit. Just rest here for a moment. What's your breath like? What does your belly feel like? What sensation do you feel in your physical body, abdominals, low belly, deep inner core? Core might bring up emotions for you. You might feel something beyond the physical. Can't tell you what that is. I just want you to start to learn from yourself. Interlace your hands behind the back of your head and tuck your knees to your chest again. We did this a couple weeks ago. We're going to build on top of that curling of the pelvis, but instead of tapping the toes, we'll get into the obliques. So here we go. Pick the hips up off the floor by tucking the knees to the chest. Hold here. Then extend your right leg up. Your left leg straight to hover on the floor. Hover away from the floor in front of you. Twist your upper body to the right and hold. So this is going to go a little bit slower than you might want to go. Imagine that. Back to center. Head down, knees to chest. Pick your hips up and set them back down. Left leg up. Right leg out. Twist to the left and hold. Twist more up and over to your left. And push out through the bottoms of your feet. Back to the center, head to the floor. Pick your hips up. Twist to the right, right leg goes up. Hold. Back through center, pick your hips up. Twist to the left, left leg up. Back through center, head down, hips up. Twist to the right, right leg up. Hold. Back through center, pick your hips up. Twist to the left, left leg up. Hold. Last one on each side, head down, hips up. Twist to the right, right leg up. Back through center, hips up, head down. Twist to the left, left leg up. Back through center, last time to lift the hips. And release. Put your feet on the floor so that your knees are bent. Reach your arms down alongside your body so that your hands are near your hips, palms flat on the floor. And pull your heels kind of close into you. So nothing crazy, not touching the sitting bones, but the feet aren't very far away at all. Firm your glutes, tighten your glutes, and lift your hips. Push your heels down, lift your hips up. Push your upper arms down, lift your heart up. Lengthen like you want your tailbone to point more up at your knees than down at the floor, imagining your tailbone is a straight line. And bring your inner knees, hug your knees a little closer in. One more inhale, lift up your hips. Exhale, release, hips to the floor. Hug your knees to your chest. Little rock from side to side. Let's meet in a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Feet to the floor, hips to the ceiling, forward fold. Bend your knees generously. Drop your head, excuse me, and roll slowly to standing. Chin is the last to lift. Make your chin parallel to the floor. Make your legs solid and strong. Then inhale, stretch your arms out and up, reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot to the back of your mat. Move your left foot all the way back so you have a long giant step. Place your left foot flat like you're making warrior two legs, but keep your hands on the floor. So your right knee is bent, your feet are in heel to heel alignment, and your left leg is straight, foot is flat. Bring your right hand to the floor on the inside of your right foot and turn your upper body just a little bit to the left. So not turning to the side of your mat, instead turning to the 45-degree angle, like top left corner of your mat. Just a couple breaths here. You can either put your hands up on something if you have it handy. You can keep your hands here, or you could walk your hands away from you so that your arms are straight, so that you bring your ears in line with your arms like a down dog in the upper body. Most important cue here is open your right knee away from your right shoulder. It sounded wrong as it was coming out of my mouth, but it was right. Press down through the ball mound of the big toe of your right foot and open your right knee away from your right shoulder. Wide-legged fold, turn your hands to the left. Turn all 10 toes to point to the long edge of your mat. Imagine that you can spill the contents of your pelvis forward over your pubic bone. And lift your kneecaps toward your hips. Hands to hips, rise to standing. Stand all the way up. We'll keep the left foot as it is. Turn your right toes so they point straight forward. Bend your right knee. Extend your arms parallel to the floor. Bend your right knee straight forward and interlace your hands at your low back. Lift your heart up and slide your knuckles down. Hold here. If you feel your ribcage flaring open, zip up a little bit so you keep that engagement in your belly. Tilt your upper body at the same angle as your left leg. So you're dipping your right shoulder a little towards your right knee. Pull your knuckles toward your left heel. Reverse warrior. Place your left hand on your left leg. Reach your right arm up and back, inhale. Exhale, place your hands on the floor, step back and lower slowly, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, lift your heart. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, feet forward, step or jump. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Step your right foot back. Exhale, hands down first. Move your right foot to the back of your mat. Nice long stance. Place your right foot flat. So we have this kind of warrior two leg pose first. Heel to heel alignment. Take your left hand, move it to the inside of your left foot on the floor, and turn your upper body out and open and to your right. Just that 45-degree angle, so not quite to the long edge of your mat, more to the top right corner. You could hold here, stay more upright with your body, or walk your hands out and away from you so that you feel a little bit more like down dog in your upper body. Press down through the ball mound of the big toe of your left foot and open your left knee away from your left shoulder. Wide-legged fold, turn to your right. Symmetrical pose with the feet and legs, whole body. Fold at the hips and drop your head. Doesn't matter how far you fold. Make your legs strong, lift your kneecaps. Absolutely, if you like a tripod headstand now, if you need an inversion practice, I haven't been teaching inversions in these classes, but it is accessible from this pose and you are welcome to go upside down. If you're upside down, meet us with your feet on the floor. Place your hands on your hips and rise up to standing. Turn just your left foot so that your left toes point straight forward. Warrior two. Extend your arms and bend your left knee a lot. Bend your left knee straight forward over your left second toe. Make your right leg really straight. Hug your low belly back to the front of your spine so that you lengthen your low back and point your tailbone down. Interlace your hands at your low back. Lift your heart up, slide your knuckles down, hold, and breathe. So we'll stay here with the shoulders over the hips for now. As you focus on lengthening the sides of your body, lift your heart. We'll take that little dip, move your left shoulder more toward your left knee while still keeping length in your left side body. So lift your left bottom rib away from your left hip. And lengthen your knuckles down and back toward your right heel. Reverse warrior, place your right hand on your right leg. Reach your left arm up and back, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, put your hands down, step back, and lower slowly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Down dog, exhale. Pigeon. Take your right shin forward across the top of your mat.